EU Council Representative is a full voting member of the Binghamton University Council in accordance with Article 8, Section 356 of the New York Education Law, and is accountable to both the Student Association and the Graduate Student Association. I would like to introduce you to the candidates for the EU Council Representative: Victoria Barracks, Nora Monasheri, and Sophia Yazgi. Victoria, please come to the podium.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria. I'm a senior here at Binghamton. I'm a double major in psychology and philosophy, politics, and law. I'm a writing studies minor, and I'm also in a 4+1 program working for my master's in public administration. So a little bit about myself and kind of why I want to run. I've been very involved on our campus in my 4 years here. So I'm actually my 3rd year as an RA. I've been in orientation. I've been part of numerous e-board organizations. Just to name a few, I've been advocate for SEEK. I've been on the e-board with the food co-op for 3 years now, and I'm currently the general manager of the food co-op. I'm also currently the treasurer of DUB. So I kind of just want to talk you through my platforms and why I like to run and why I'm a good candidate, because I've worked so much with our student organizations, with our student body, and with so many offices on our campus. So the first part of my platform is called Mental Health Awareness and Connection, and basically what I want to do is first I want to make sure that students are aware of the resources that we have, because we do have options for our students that extend past the University Counseling Center, but students don't always know how to get connected to those, and it's kind of a scary process. So at first I like to make sure that students know about those and how to work with them. I also want to make sure that students have resources that reflect the needs that they have regarding whatever identity they're coming from, their backgrounds, whatever unique struggle it is that they're coming from, so that if you are a queer person on this campus, you are finding somebody that is able to help you through that process, and so on. I also want to make sure that conversations about mental health are happening more often, because mental health is something that's real and scary, and transitioning to college is a legitimate issue. So I want to make sure that we're working on that, and making it easier for students to access these resources. The second part of my platform is about sexual assault awareness, education, and mitigation. So sexual assault is something that is no news that happens on our fellow campus. There has been a lot of great work to kind of protect our students, especially with the creation of the VARC. But I want to make sure that we're only going forward with that. I want to take kind of the framework from that first platform and put it on here. For instance, again, I want to make sure that our students are educated. I want to make sure that our students are getting education right away. Not only so that students feel more comfortable, but so that way we're taking more of a proactive approach rather than reactive approach. So I'd like to work with offices throughout our campus with residential life to give some education really early on in our university for our first-year students. There has been education and orientation. While I think it's important to bring education and orientation, it's also important to remember that not every student is required to go to orientation and doesn't also show up even if they sign up. So I want to make sure so that students are getting this education right away. I also want to make sure that students are familiar with the resources, so that way if they go through any sort of experience, they know that sexual assault is not just this black and white thing, and it's so much more to ask, and our students understand how to get help for that, and that they never have to experience any guilt or shame. My next platform is about expanding sustainability on our campus. So basically just want to work with our student population, organizations, and offices to offer more options to make it easier to recycle, compost, and have plant-based options. And
thank you. Thank you, Victoria. Moving on, I welcome Nora to the podium.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you all for being here. If you don't know who I am, I'm so excited to share my platform with you, and my name is Nora. So, who remembers their childhood animated character with the monkey and the boots and the map and everything of the sort? Well, yeah, that's me. Just replace the D with an N. I'm Nora the Explorer, and I really like that to mirror what my experience thus far throughout Binghamton has been like. Just like Dora, I have all the courage and grit to leave my mark at Binghamton and to help every student now, which drives me to my 3 pillars of my candidacy. My first one, just to listen to the voices of all students, is through advocacy. My pillars are advocacy, an established committee, and inclusivity. With advocacy, right now I work with President Harvey as a roadmap intern, where I meet with him at least once a week, dealing with things that need to be changed upon this campus. With that direct relationship with President Harvey, I'll be sure to have your voices heard, and it'll go directly to administration. And then I'll also have office hours and straight communication so that students will be able to contact me 24/7, whether that even means through my social media. I'll answer that beyond past my office hours. That's my listening objective, and then with amplifying and taking that voice, I would like to have an established committee. So now all the SA people on e-board have people working under them. And just like them, I want to have my people to work under me to make sure that we have the longevity of the position, to make sure that the next person who's in running for BU Council will be even more qualified because they know what this position is and they have such an understanding of what's going through. My last pillar is inclusivity. As president of the Diversity Club, I'm working with the Director of Diversity, Karen Jones, as well as working to make a micro-credential for SOM, and really just working to make your voice heard. So, my pillars of advocacy, an established committee, and inclusivity really work for me to explore your needs and be the best Northern Explorer I can be. I encourage you to really see who is the best fit for this role and who will not just make the promise but pursue what's going on and your voice is heard. So vote for North Explorer and I'll be sure to explore all of your needs.
Thank you, Nora. I now welcome Sophia to the podium.
Hello, everyone. I just want to start off by thanking the E&J committee for hosting this debate, and also thanking everyone in the audience for being here tonight. I'm Sophia Gassi, and I'm running for BU Council Representative. I'm excited to have this opportunity to talk to you about my 4-pillar plan to 1, amplify student voice, 2, increase student administration collaboration, 3, expand collaboration with Binghamton Student Association, and 4, provide new insights. As a student representative, my top priority will be to provide a strong voice for students to the administration. I believe that every student's voice should be heard, and I will ensure that student body opinions are taken into consideration in administrative decisions. Without a strong advocate for students within the administration, student concerns are not taken into account, and the student body risks being forgotten or ignored, such as in the unpopular East Gym dress code policies. Another important aspect of my plan is to facilitate communication between the student body and administration. Discussion between the students and administration is key to ensuring that students are on the same page as the administration. A major disparity I plan to rectify is the vast disparity between the resources that the university has at its disposal and the lack of student awareness of these resources. I have already begun discussions with administrators and campus offices as part of my role as a congressional representative working to improve Binghamton, and I plan to continue this work as BU Council representative. As a student representative, I will bridge the gap between students and the administration to make sure all students are informed and heard. Further, the administration can better suit the needs of students with specific feedback on topics such as mental health, accessibility, dining halls, and university policies. I also plan to expand collaboration between the Student Association and the administration. In my experience as a representative in the SA Congress, I've witnessed the disconnect between the students, Binghamton SA, and the administration.
I plan to increase awareness of administrative actions within the student body and expand access for students to report concerns or bring suggestions to the attention of the administration via collaboration with the Student Association. Lastly, as a freshman heavily involved at Binghamton, I can see the campus with fresh eyes and envision new strategies for Binghamton University. I believe that bringing a new perspective to Bingham is essential for growth and innovation. Instead of becoming familiar with the status quo, I will bring new ideas to the table and help create a better experience for everyone. I hope that you can see my passion for making a difference at Binghamton University. If elected as BU Council Representative, I will work tirelessly to ensure that every student's voice is heard, that communication is strong between students and the administration, that collaboration is expanded, and that new perspectives are brought to Binghamton.
Stop.
Go ahead. Thank you, and I hope to have your support in this election.
Woo! Thank you so much, Sophia. Now we will proceed into the questioning period.
The first question for BU Council Rep candidates will go to Victoria. As Council Representative, you will regularly meet with administrators and other stakeholders. If elected, how do you plan to communicate information from the stakeholders to students?
Thank you. So to do this, I think first it's important to have a really strong social media presence. So I would put a lot of this information in a really digestible way through social media. I'd also really like to work, honestly, not just like neglecting the idea of word of mouth. Something that I think is really important is talking with people frequently. So I make sure that I'm having a lot of conversations with students, with student organizations, with the graduate student population about things that are happening so they know what's going on throughout the year. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Of course.
Thanks.
As Council Representative, you will regularly meet with administrators and other stakeholders. If elected, how do you plan to communicate information from the stakeholders to students?
Great. So, first of all, I think it's important to say that the bridge with administration is important, and I'm so excited that if given the opportunity, we have the direct resources to get with them, to get information from them. Then, to rally this to the information, it's important to utilize the vast free resources that the school gives us for marketing. And the use of marketing, especially as a business student, and they really emphasize this, is through, like Victoria said, word of mouth, and also we have table tents over through all the dining halls. We have large TVs in all of the entire marketplace and the union. We also have OCCT bus flyers. So this information where students will constantly be and not have to actively source out, this information will be in front of them and easily shown from administration directly to
Stop. Thank you.
not only the undergraduates, but the graduate students, which this position really emphasizes to reach.
So, marketing is a powerful tool that Binghamton uses for a lot of its events, but students are constantly overloaded with a million things that the university is trying to market towards them. One of the main things that I want to implement as BU Council Representative is a pathways system that extends from the administration to the SA Congress, to community councils, to students in those communities. And this includes off-campus community government outreach, as well as the graduate student organization. I think that we have a lot of existing tools at our disposal that can be really used to outreach to students. One major disparity is that students are not always aware of, say, who their SA reps are. Or if they have a problem on campus or a suggestion that they want to bring to administration, they don't always have a direct person to go to about that. So if we can increase communication between the SA and students and involve community councils in that, we can create better communication between the administration and students, which can go both ways, from students to bringing suggestions to the administration, and as well for the administration to be able to inform students.
Stop. Thank you.
How do you plan to engage with students and gather feedback to ensure you are effectively representing student interests?
Thank you for this question. I think it's really important that in this role, I am reflecting the needs and desires of the students. So first and foremost, I intend to have Zoom office hours, so that way that if students have an initiative that they'd like to discuss, they can come to me to talk about it, and we can work on that together. I also would want to make sure that I'm keeping up to date with things that are going on, and to do that, I would make sure that I'd be working really closely with both the Student Association and the Graduate Student Organization to kind of know what they're working on, so I can kind of help with that. Through that, I'd also like to get in contact with and work with all of the organizations on our campus because they are so reflective of what our student body is looking for, and connecting with residential life, orientation, things like that, so I can get to know student populations from day one, what their desires are, and bring those to life lived things.
So, I really love this question because it's something that needs to be really addressed. I'm a student myself and know that I want to be heard, and which is a main reason for why I'm running. And like I said earlier, my main pillars are really to advocate and to have that established committee. So with that advocacy, I'm going to make sure to listen with my open office hours, with my social media that's just a DM away, which is the new method for everyone in this position, and then given the opportunity as BU Council Rep, like I said, I want to have an established committee where students can work under me and get an in on what I'm working on and really continue to help me rally that network with all the students in the university. And I'm also, I really spoke with the graduate students and learned what they need and saw that there is really a big separation between the undergrads and the grad students. So by having events where I've already been working with the event center, by having joint events for our main sports games where we can combine the students and graduate students to work together, and I'm also working on currently a mentor program for international students where they're able to have a mentor themselves.
Thank you.
Woo!
So, one of the, as I've said earlier, if an individual student has a concern on campus or wants something advocated to the administration, they should be able to go to their SA rep, go to their community council, go to someone in the student government, where that can then be taken to administration, as the student representatives are primarily meant to represent student voices and advocate to the administration. But what if there's a bigger problem on campus? What if a group of students want to change something? Let's say a group of students want to improve something at the dining halls, which is, I've heard many concerns about that during my time at Binghamton. So what I would want to do is establish focus groups where students can work and collaborate with the administration, because a lot of the times students are fighting against the administration, and I want to turn that into collaboration.
Stop. Thank you.
Can I do a rebuttal?
Okay, so the question was again just to how do we build the gap between students and the overall administration? So really, I think it's important to notice who has been here on campus, who has done the most, who has a large outreach, and especially for off-campus students. I live off-campus, and it's a great experience to get to see best of both worlds. Just like I was on campus last year, and now I'm off campus, you get the best of both worlds, and you make sure that you have a voice from all different sides. So make sure that you're choosing a person that gets the experience and has the time at Binghamton.
May I also hear?
Thank you so much for that point. In the topic of experience, something I'd like to say is that I've really dedicated myself to the student body. in my 4 years at Binghamton. I'd also like to say that I really think I've gotten to know pretty much our entire student population in our different stages. You know, I've worked with the students before they've even committed to Binghamton, and I work actually with the admissions program as a coordinator. I've understood students on their first day at the university as an orientation leader and also as a mentor for the program. And I've also understood not only the residents on our campus, but the RAs on our campus as both an RA, mentor RA, and RA council representative. I'd also like to talk about how it's important to understand the student population, and I think I've done a really good job of that in working with multiple organizations through many leadership positions. I've been on the board for SEEK, I've been on the board for SELF, I've been a manager for student business, I've been on other boards as well, so I've really gotten to understand this population, and I also work with the graduate population. Thank you.
So one thing that separates me from the other candidates here is that I am a freshman running. And that might surprise some people, that might make some people doubt my level of experience or ability to run. But being a freshman allows me to come into this campus and see it with new eyes. I can sort of come here and see how things are and sort of see, well, this isn't how something should be. This is how it can be improved. And I haven't really been here for the amount of time to get used to the way things are and to get comfortable with that and to sort of accept the way things are. I'm coming here new, I'm coming here sort of from the outside, looking in, and really being able to see things that aren't working and really being able to see how we can improve things on campus. And I think that going into being a sophomore next year, I'm going to be living on campus. This is like, campus is gonna be like where I live. It's gonna be, I'm gonna be fully immersed in it, rather than sort of having been here for longer and almost sort of being done with my time here. I'm just beginning, and I have so much left to improve upon here at Binghamton.
You're allowed one more.
It's okay. I'll save your time. But we all have great things to add, so that's all.
I am now opening up to questions from the audience.
For the sake of time, we'll only be accepting one question.
So what are some, because a lot of you said that like there's a lot of issues that you all see on campus and that you're looking at them like with a new perspective. So if you were to become BU counselor, what is the most pressing issue that you think plagues Binghamton University and their students?
I think that my most pressing issue is that sometimes our university takes sometimes a reactive approach. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to be proactive and work from day one so that we're not cleaning up messes, we're providing people with support day one so they don't feel like they're catching up. So that kind of goes into my platform about mental health resources, about sexual assault, about sustainability. It's giving people the resources ahead of time so they feel comfortable, they feel supported, and they feel prepared rather than having to play catch up afterwards. Thank you. And thank you for your question.
Hello. So what I really noticed from my time at Binghamton is that we all have great ideas and we all have a problem to solve. But who do we really go to bridge that gap and all work together to it? So that's something that I really aim to work at. At my time with President Harvey, I noticed that everyone complains about the parking. So I took initiative with my team to work with parking services to start, and I already have taken the action to bring a service where we can show how many available spots are left in the parking spot. Obviously, this is a long works in the come, but this is a step that we took to get things done. Alongside, everyone's been talking about how do we get contraceptives besides for Decker, where you can only get it during the time of their opening. So I'm working with Planned Parenthood Generation, with Luca, with a bunch of different people on campus, especially auxiliary services, to bring vending machines that have access to these contraceptive items where you want to have access to for 24/7. So that's what I want to say.
So I think one of the biggest misuses of resources on campus, or something that could be improved on, is the amount of resources that Binghamton University actually has, and the amount of them that go unused because students aren't aware of them. I was meeting with the vice president for student health and wellness as part of my student government position, and one of the things she pointed out to me was an entire book of health resources that students aren't aware of. I have been pretty involved on campus, and I wasn't aware of several of them. And I think that if students were made more aware of initiatives put out by offices on campus, initiatives by the university administration, and actually involved in these processes a little more, included in these processes, and if collaboration was expanded, students would not only know more about the resources, but these resources would be more tailored to students, and students would be able to use them better and more effectively. And the campus overall would just be able to represent the needs of students as a whole.
All right, thank you, Sophia. Moving on, we're going to hear closing remarks from our candidates. Victoria, this is
Hi, everyone. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you to all the candidates for your wonderful points. I basically, more than anything, want to take up this role because I understand this university, I understand the people of this university, and I understand the organizations and the offices that work in this university and how we can make them better. So I would be truly honored to get to spend a year to do exactly that. I want to take this platform and I want to take it from day one to use it to make this campus better. I want to make it safer. I want to make it more supportive for all of our student population. And I think that we have a really good student population to do that with. So I really hope that I have the opportunity to do so, and I think together we can make a really, really great campus. Thank you.
So, Nora the Explorer is back. And I've been here since day one. I'm there also from student ambassadors, speaking to prospective students about coming to Binghamton, and I'll be there on the last day where I'm working with President Harvey already to make sure that we have a yearbook for the following years, because if you didn't know, we do have yearbooks, but no one even knows about that. My experience from even working as multicultural vice president my freshman year, working in the FinCo as a New England rep last year, I have that experience to build the budget as a BU council rep, which is a really big job that we do. I have the experience to really amplify, listen, and ensure that all your ideas will be heard. I'll really be that person to advocate, and it's my genuine care that I want us all to be unified and to make sure that that gap between the undergraduates and the graduates are working together and know our purpose and make sure that you have the best time at Binghamton. And I hope that I get to explore that with you all together. Vote for Nora and we'll explore this world together. Binghamton together.
I just want to thank the other candidates for this lively debate that we've had, and thank you to the audience for listening and asking questions. As a student representative, it is my commitment to listen to the student body, take their concerns and ideas to the administration, work with campus offices, student organizations, individuals, and the Student Association to create a positive change on campus. My experience in the CIW Council and the Student Association, as well as my connections with many departments on campus and student organizations, have prepared me well for the role of BU Council representative. But more than that, my passion for creating a better campus experience for everyone is what drives me to run for this position. I'm confident that I can be a strong advocate for students and work to bridge the gap between the administration and the student body. As you go to vote, I urge you to consider my plans and dedication to making a difference at Binghamton University. Stop. Thank you.
So that concludes our Binghamton University Council Representative debate for tonight. Moving on to our last position for the day, we've all been waiting for SA President.
Yes.
The President of the Student Association shall coordinate, oversee, and chair the Executive Board. They are the primary representative and spokesperson of the Student Association. As mentioned prior,